should he still be fourth on the quarterback depth chart?
Well, I don't think it means that much because at the end of the day, there's still 3.5 weeks to go before you get to week 1. I'm not sure what the status is when they play against the Eagles. You might know better than me. Is Flacco going to play? Is Gabriel going to get in there and play?
I don't think there's any clarity on that yet. But yeah, keep going.
So if that's the case, he's going to play. Right. If they don't practice, he's going to be in the game. He's going to play anyway. Yeah. So the depth chart might be a little overrated. Yeah. But I can't, on August 13th, we have talked about this. I know you're annoyed because he was the 5th round. I get it. Maybe he should have been drafted earlier, played great last week against the Panthers, looked like he knew what he was doing. I'll grant you that one. But, I mean, he's on the right team because this team doesn't have a quarterback. And if he plays well, he is going to have plenty of opportunity to do his thing and maybe even one day be a starter quicker than we think. I still think no matter what, they'll start with Flacco to get his feet wet, try to get off to a decent start. He's got experience. I don't think Sanders or Gabriel or anybody else, I think Flacco will start the first game of the year, just like Wilson will for the Giants. But I think eventually Sanders is going to get his chance to show that he could be the quarterback of the future for a very prideful franchise that hasn't won since 1964. There are a lot worse spots he could be in. He's on a team that believes that's got great football history that doesn't have a QB. Yeah. He's coming off a good game. So I'm not as worked up by it as everybody else seems to be. I think Gabriel's got to get a chance. They made him the 3rd-round pick. Now, you can argue that all you want. He's got to get a chance. Yep. But if he can't play, he can't play. He's got to play. Yep. He's got to get a chance eventually.
Stephen
Before Lewis goes, I just have a question before Lewis goes. Doggy, how the hell are you a prideful franchise, but you're also a franchise that ain't won since the 60s? Could you explain that?
Well, Paul Brown won championships.
I mean, what do you mean?
Well, hold on now. Come on, the Cleveland Browns, that's a big-time team. Now, they haven't won, I grant you. The Cleveland Browns got tremendous. Jim Brown played for them.
And how long?
They got great history.
Educate us, historian. Wait, Jim Brown and the Cleveland Browns. How long ago was that?
Oh, Brown quit in 65. 65 was his last year.
All right, then. So they haven't won. Hold on, wait a minute. So they haven't won in 60 years, but you said there's a prideful franchise, as if they've won and all of a sudden they've nosedived or something.
Stephen A. as in pride goes before the fall.
The Toronto Maple Leafs haven't won. They're a prideful NHL franchise. It's not always about how many times you've won championships.
Wait a minute, you talking
the Browns are prideful.
You talking
Stephen
about Jim Brown and stuff.
With you it is.
Stephen A., you know how you like to bring up the gas prices when we talk about Dak Prescott? Price of gas when the Browns were relevant, 31 cents gallon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
31 cents. Yeah.
Wow, that's a big-time stat right there.
Big-time franchise.
31 cents?
Go ahead, Lewis.
Yeah, look, I'm not mad that he's still 4th on the depth chart as long as he gets what he earns, which is you get more reps now because you've earned them after your performance last week. See, you know what would be perfect? You need to be in Philadelphia. You need to be at these joint practices because that will really be the telltale sign as to how Kevin Stefanski really feels about his performance. Because if he's starting to work him in there, because look, they don't have a whole lot of time. People keep saying, oh, they have plenty of time. The season doesn't start. Eventually what happens is coaching staffs start whittling down the reps and tailing the reps towards the people who are going to play on opening weekend. And the people who are backups, guys who are going to be inactive on game day, those kind of projections as far as the roster are concerned, you start doing a lot of watching. You start running a lot of scout team to prepare the guys who are going to play. So they don't have an inordinate amount of time. He needs to be worked in there. Sal Powell is there today for us. Sal Paolantonio. It'd be interesting to see how many reps he starts getting with frontline players because I think he deserves it. You're right. Dylan Gabriel does need to be looked at. He hasn't gotten a look yet. And since he's a 3rd-round pick, you can best believe the organization wants to see what they have in him. And rightfully so. Okay? But at some point in time, his lack of availability, if it were to continue, has to start working against him, just like it has to start working against Kenny Pickett. The same way. If you can't perform in training camp, that's how you start losing your spot. Simple as that.
But I do think Flacco, no matter what, is going to start week 1.
Probably, yes.
Okay.
Here's my issue. Here's my issue, guys. I have absolutely no problem with Flacco missing time in practice, even though he hasn't really, when you talk about the number one reps for the QB, he's basically taken all of them. He's reportedly developing some kind of chemistry with Jerry Jeudy. You know, people think about stuff like this, or the other receivers as well. We get that. And Njoku's going to be there. Obviously, he's trying to have a big year and resurrect himself from what he was a couple of years ago. But here's the reality when we really, really look at this, okay? In the end, what the hell is Shedeur Sanders being lower on the depth chart to a Kenny Pickett and a Dillon Gabriel? Dillon Gabriel comes in. He hasn't been a pro yet. He's a rookie too. And Kenny Pickett has had numerous chances to show us that he's nothing more than, in all likelihood, a career backup. So when I look at Shedeur Sanders, if I see him performing well, why can't I wish or expect for him to be put as the QB2? Why not? Because the other dudes ain't been available. You know, when you talk about Pickett, he hasn't returned to 11 on 11 drills. Okay, he's missed about 3 or 4 practices. Dillon Gabriel, again, is a rookie, and a lot of people thought coming out of college that Shedeur was better than him. How come Shedeur Sanders can't be on the number 2 or at the number 2 spot right now under Flacco? That would be my question. It's not a big deal. It's nothing to lose sleep over, but I'm saying I didn't expect him to remain 4th on the depth chart, especially when he's practicing and he's the one available, and the ones that ain't available are Kenny Pickett and Dillon Gabriel.
Yeah, I think the reason is because, look.
What's up? What? Any problem?
No. I mean, I'm just going to say this. Look, front offices, they're just not going to go ahead and throw in the towel when they haven't, in terms of moving Dillon Gabriel down. When you know during the pre-draft process and the pre-draft run-up, obviously they had him graded ahead of Shedeur. They did. That's why they selected him where they selected him. And the fact that they haven't been able to look at him yet, and it's only week 1 in the preseason, they're saying, hey, look, let's just keep it the way it is. Let's give Dillon a chance to prove that he does need to be moved down. And Shedeur has already proven he has an argument for being moved up. And we have the luxury of maybe doing this after this week. Maybe in their mind they already have. Who knows? You know, a lot of times depth charts don't mean a darn thing.
Peter Schrager joining us now. Hey. Great to see you. But I'm going to start with you here, Stephen A.
What's up, Peter?
What's up, Stephen A?
S.A., do you feel like Hurts is underrated as a quarterback?
I do. And I'm going to tell you where it really, really stands out for me. Do y'all know that Coach Nick Sirianni has been coaching the Philadelphia Eagles 4 or 5 years or so now, right? Do you know he's had 4 different offensive coordinators in the last 4 years? 4 different offensive coordinators in the last 4 years. 4 different play callers. And yet Jalen Hurts, working under those conditions, is 43-12 as a starting quarterback, including the postseason over the last 3 years. So what that tells me is that no matter the situation, no matter the circumstances, no matter the adversity, whatever the case may be, he figures it out. And when you have somebody as great as Peyton Manning talking about your football IQ, your intellect, your passion to learn, and to be above the crowd up here, not just in your physical performance, I think that's something that we have to hold on to. Never mind the fact that he's got Saquon Barkley in the backfield, and he's got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Goddard out there to throw the football to. And an offensive line, by the way, that's considered one of the best in the National Football League. But his intellect continues to ascend. And when that happens, and you figure out a way, no matter the circumstances, and when the record has shown that no matter who's there for you to answer to call plays for you, to evolve an offense around you, you adjust to win 78% of your games. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we should be talking about Jalen Hurts in a far more complimentary fashion than we have. I don't think we have, which is why I think underrated applies.
Fair. I think if we were to do a top 10 poll of the best coaches in the NFL, I don't know if Nick Sirianni makes that list. And yet, he is the best coach for that Philadelphia Eagles team and what they need in that city and what they do. I feel the same way about Jalen Hurts. We could rave about him and how cerebral he is. Are you taking Jalen Hurts over Patrick Mahomes? Probably not. Josh Allen? Probably not. You go down the list. Jaden Daniels? Probably not. Justin Herbert, that one was controversial a couple of weeks ago. You might say, look at the postseason. If you're just picking a quarterback who you want under center, you still might go Herbert over Hurts, even with the postseason success and failures. But for the Philadelphia Eagles, that cat is the guy. And for that city, he is the guy. So I can't get up in this overrated, underrated. Do we give him enough respect? Guy was Super Bowl MVP. He saved his best 2 games as a pro for the biggest of stages in front of 300 million people. You're going to get the respect from me. But who are you putting above on that top 10 list? Who are you saying undoubtedly? I mean, Stafford, Daniels, and Herbert were all ranked above him on the top 10 list. I could argue he should be above those guys, but I'm not putting him above Lamar. I'm probably not putting him above Jaden Daniels just for what we're looking at moving forward, who I'm building my team with. And I'm certainly not putting him above Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. So he's a top 10 quarterback. I think we all agree on that. But, Mad Dog, I can't get up in arms over him not being top 5.
Well, yeah, I agree. I don't think he's top 5 either. I think the problem with Hurts is he has not been the quarterback of a team. Though 2 years ago he was and they collapsed. And I love Hurts, because we saw what he did at Alabama, sat on the bench for Tua, came in and helped them win that SEC championship, went to Oklahoma. I mean, he's a classy guy. I have no problem with Hurts at all. He's an excellent player, 2 great games in the Super Bowl. Let's face it, he could have been the MVP of both because he had the 1 fumble. But the problem with Hurts is if you're going to evaluate it fairly, I don't know. Allen can win and can carry a team to unexpected heights with not a lot around him. We know Mahomes can do it. Burrow probably can do it. Lamar has won 2 MVPs, and he won one of them without a couple of them without, of course, the running back Derrick Henry. I don't know if you take Barkley away and a couple of those offensive linemen, and you take one of those receivers away, and he is your best player. I don't know if you are going to get to a certain height. I know that Allen, I don't care who you have on Buffalo, they're going to be a Super Bowl contender. We know Mahomes, Super Bowl contender. Daniel's got a chance down the road, Super Bowl contender. Lamar, I don't know if that's the case with Hurts. I think that's what hurts him here.
All right, we'll keep it rolling, guys. Earlier this
Here's the deal.
Oh, go ahead, Stephen A. I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, I was just going to say, weeks 5 to 18, the man had 26 touchdowns, just 3 turnovers. The Eagles went 10-1 over an 11-game span. In the postseason, the man had 10 touchdowns, 1 turnover, and they obviously went 4-0. I'm fully aware of the fact that the first 4 games of the season, when they were just 2-2, they threw the ball more than they ran the ball. And since that time, they leaned into their running game, and that contributed to their success. But in the end, the question wasn't whether or not he's top 5. It's does he get enough credit? And the answer is people find reasons to take credit away from him when, in fact, he's earned the right for you to find reasons to give him credit. That's the issue.
Fair. Their offensive line is the best in football. They have the best offensive line coach in football. They have the best running back in football. They've got 2 star wide receivers around him. It's impossible for us to say that they all, don't. That's what's held against him. Fair or unfair, he is a very different situation that he's walking into than some of these other quarterbacks that we consider. And that's not his fault. You can only drive the car,
but Peter,
the keys you're given. I get it.
You've covered the NFL. You've covered the NFL too long to know a quarterback can mess everything up.
You're right.
Can mess everything up.
You're right.
No matter what you have around him. And he doesn't.
No.
He doesn't do it. They've been to 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls. And one would argue if they lost 38-35 to Kansas City a few years back, they said, he would have been the MVP because he balled in the Super Bowl.
He did.
The fact is that a quarterback can really, really mess it up for you. So when he doesn't, what do we say? We got to give him credit.
Yep.
He's got a little Bart Starr in him. Starr was surrounded by so many great players, and coach almost forgot about him. He's got a little of that going on.
Quickly, Peter, MVP year for Jalen Hurts?
I don't see it.
Okay.
And to Cam Newton's point that he's made on his podcast, 2,900 yards, and it's just not what the MVP voters are looking for. They're looking for that sensational, throw it on my back, I'll take us. Burrow, Allen, Lamar, those are your MVP candidates. Unless Jalen Hurts immediately goes, and rips off one of these huge statistical seasons, I don't see the voters, my colleagues, ever given him that honor in the regular season.